Mike Vrabel, Smitty, is back home.
Yes, sir.
In New England. Back home in New England. Good hire or a great hire is the question, Smitty. And this is the question I want to ask you in 2 years when this show is a corporate media sponsored show. I want to know, in 2 years, will it be a good or a great hire? I don't think bad or mediocre is in the question. I think the question is it a good one or a great one? And that is the question we'll ask in 2 years. Losing Belichick to hiring his assistant in Jerod Mayo, to firing him after one bad year, and now Mike Vrabel. I don't think you could hire a better coach to get New England back in serious contention in the AFC East. But what do I know, Smitty? I got the questions I have is, can Drake May be a franchise quarterback? A, can he lead a team right now without a big-time number 1 or number 2 wide receiver, because they do not have one? And can New England now attract talent, Smitty, and use the salary cap to their advantage this offseason? If you are New England Patriots fans, you should be happy today and excited about the future in Foxborough. But what do I know, Smitty? Dive into that real quick before we do quote of the day. I think Drake May is good and better than we thought. He had no talent around him. I think they'll get better in free agency with Mike Vrabel. Can they attract See, I'm not hyped on these guys I'm going to mention, but I'm only going to mention their names, Smitty, because they're guys that got paid and they're guys that are into high demand for some reason. I think they're overrated. But Deebo Samuel, I think the Niners are going to move on. I think they have to move on. I think he's had a digression this year. But do New England go and get a guy like that? Do they go and get a guy like that? Do you go out and try to trade for somebody? I don't know. Is Devontae Adams, can you get him as he's getting older, but get that veteran presence in there with a Mike Vrabel, who those two I think would have a great relationship, and get a guy that's still good and still can be great around a bunch of young, good kids. You need a veteran presence. Can you get a guy like him for a year with a young quarterback? There's other guys out there possibly you can go get, but they got a decent tight end, Smitty. They got a decent running back. They need to go get an explosive back. I think they got an every down back in Stevenson or whatever, but they need to go get an explosive guy. I think they got to get some weapons on offense, of course, and then they got to shore up an O-line to protect a young QB like Drake May. Can New England attract talent, Smitty? Remember, Belichick did it for a long time with a bunch of fucking white dudes playing receiver. And they'll go an occasional Randy Moss for a year, an occasional Chad Johnson for a year, occasional AB for 5 weeks. Like, can they surround it with this guy and Mike Vrabel get attraction? Can they attract some guys in there? I don't know. Smitty, that's going to be it. It's Foxborough at the end of the day. What Belichick did there in a place like Foxborough, a lot of people don't understand. But this is the time, I believe, because this guy understands how Belichick did it. And he also had a guy like Tom Brady who took cap hits so they can get better talent around him. So he said, hey, I won't take the money. I want to win. Well, guess what? In essence, you got a guy at a rookie deal in Drake May. You don't have to pay for a couple years. You can use that same method and create a free agent hit and try to get some talent in there and use Drake May's time for not being paid, similar to what the Niners missed on with Brock Purdy playing with his rookie deals. And, you would think you would try to get a ring in that thing, and it just didn't happen for the Niners. Let's see if the New England Patriots can follow that and get something done with Drake May.
Yeah, man. I think it's a good hire. I think it's hard to say great right now, because if I'm going to call something great, to me, that means I'm saying that they're either contending or winning Super Bowls, and I can't promise you that because the Patriots need so much there that, I think it's going to be a while before they get back to that position. But I think as long as the Patriots are patient with Mike Vrabel and they give him, 2-3 years at least to actually build the team and make his own decisions and kind of get the personnel in there in that locker room that he wants, I do think he'll be a really good coach. He's proven. We've seen him with the Tennessee Titans and what he did with that team, a team that didn't have crazy talent across the board, but he maximized the guys he had, and he had the right pieces at the right positions with Derrick Henry, Tannehill at the time was solid, and he has a lot of side pieces on the defensive end as well. If I'm not mistaken, he took the Tennessee Titans to the AFC Championship as well. I think they fought the Chiefs, I think, tight one year. So, I mean, this guy is a leader of men. He's a somewhat of a player's coach, but also has respect as well. He's not some pushover. Obviously, he's won at the highest level as a player. He's been coached by the GOAT. So this guy has a lot to him. I think it's hard to imagine him not being successful if given the years. Now, the reason why I keep saying that is, Gerard Mayo, I don't know how good of a coach he is or will be because he was there for 1 year. I don't think anybody would have that strong, immense success with the Patriots because they just didn't have a lot. You have a rookie at quarterback and Drake May. He's splitting reps with Jacoby Brissett earlier in the year, and it's just there's no weapons on the outside, like you mentioned. You could have had Andy Reid this season. I still think the Patriots would miss the playoffs and be a bad team. So hopefully Gerard Mayo gets another opportunity down the road. But as long as they give Mike Vrabel multiple years, which I'm pretty sure they will, this guy's a legend for the Patriots. Gerard Mayo was a good player for the Patriots, but Mike Vrabel was looked at differently there. So it's hard for me to believe that they will move on after such a big hire after 1 year. And the reason why I keep saying that is I still don't think like next season the Patriots are going to be like the Patriots of old. I think they may be 9-8 at best in a team like that, to where they're fighting for their division and we can see the growth. But I don't think we should put the expectations on Vrabel to make this team be 12-5 just in the blink of an eye. There's too much stuff that needs to be done. So, but I do think that this is probably the best hire that they can make. The fan base is going to get fully behind it. And I just think they got a lot of work to do. I think they have the 4th pick in the draft this year too, JB. So they can use that as well, as far as they're trying to get a big time receiver. Maybe they go out there and get Travis Hunter. You know what I'm saying, with the number 4th pick, and then number 4 pick, and then they also, to your point, use their cap to go out here and try to get maybe Devontae Adams or try to get Debo or one of these guys in free agency. Now you got a little something. You get someone from the draft. You get somebody from free agency. You got your new head coach. And, I mean, before you know it, a few big-time pieces can truly turn around a team and a franchise. I mean, we saw what the Washington Commanders are doing, but then the blink of an eye, they new ownership, they got a new head coach, got a new quarterback who's a rookie, got a few veteran leaders on that defense, and move the pieces around, and boom, they're 12-5, I guess 13-5 now, and they're headed to the division round against the Lions. So we've seen it happen before, so they just need to make the right decision.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He's got a lot of work to do there. Can they attract in this era, though? Can they attract high-dollar, big-time free agents? That's just the question I have.
JB, it's NFL. This ain't college or recruit. This NFL. You got the money.
They don't have history, though. They don't have it. Even when they won, they don't have a history. He has to show that he can coach now at a Belichick level with talent that's subpar, because Belichick never went after high-dollar free agents, like I said, besides a Randy Moss, who was older at the time, Chad Johnson, who was older at the time. He went after who? Like, look at the guys that he developed everybody from Kevin Falk to fucking to running backs they had. You act like they had fucking Barry Sanders. I mean, they never had like the guys you're like, damn, they just had all these workhorse guys.
Garrett
Blunt for a couple years. They had I'm just saying the running backs they've had. I mean, they had guys, but they were just.
They had some guys now. But I hear what you're saying overall. Corey Dillon. I was saying, hey, Corey Dillon, that's a bad motherfucker right there. But I know what you mean, overall.
That wasn't Cincinnati Bengal Corey Dillon, homie. Like, stop. See, you guys keep breaking up these names. These guys all went there as older guys. Corey Dillon's a Bengal. Like, stop it, Chad. Stop it, Chad. Corey Dillon's a fucking Bengal. He's a legitimate – his NFL legacy is in Cincinnati, not New England. He did a great job in New England.
All right, so make sure you're on the same page.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody you got was older. Everybody you got was older. You never had
1,500 yards in New England, all pro. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying.
You got guys that. So did Chad and Randy Moss had with the best single season ever there.
Exactly, though. Undefeated season.
But what I'm saying is that wasn't Randy Moss though. That was in Minnesota and was like the guy that could play for many years. New England's always borrowed guys to fill pieces here and there.
Well, that's like Gronkowski was a draft guy, you know.
New England also had the white boy running back too. You know, we're gonna talk about him. That motherfucker wrecked shop for how long? The little third down, what's his name? The D2 kid from Shadron State, fucking Nebraska. Danny Woodhead.
He's like a slide back, kind of do it all.
Guy. Come on, man. Like, come on. Like, that's my point. You had legitimate guys on defense. You had great veteran DBs. Ty Law. Yep. You had fucking Butler, D.
Rodney Harrison at safety.
Rodney Harrison.
Vince Wilfork at D tackle.
Older. Yeah. I'm just saying, you had guys, Willie Mack back in the day, of course. All these guys, that was that's what their foundation was, though. See what I'm saying? Like,
that's some people on defense, boy. There's some dollars on defense.
And then you had all white boy wide receivers.
You're right. But you had the go-to quarterback. So
I'm just saying. So can you build this team in a similar way around Drake May, who's going to be on a rookie deal for a few years, and follow the model? Can you get talent in there? Because they don't have a roster like the Niners. They didn't get Drake May around a bunch of talent like the Niners had. So can they go get some guys to surround this young kid with right away? I don't know. That's going to be interesting. But